So welcome again, and kind of I called you. I called this war talk, or I call this space because of my pain, and because of a pain how I'm experiencing actually me being as a man and kind of hiding under more powerful, or hiding under these competitions thing, and hiding in front of kind of my fear about what would be if I would stand for like next culture. And I found out that this fear, or this I don't want to be a kind of I don't want to serve this fear in me and standing for what is important for me. And at the same time, there comes this like, what is the next? And I would be admitting like I kind of not know. I don't know. I'm experiencing like I want to speak about something. What is the next culture? Where I am not knowing what is it. And I have my fear is telling me that I would be speaking about kind of construct, or kind of something which is in my mind, but I'm not experienced. I have not experienced, or I don't, how to say, I am not knowing where we are going, and and kind of without not knowing, going and making the next step. So I'm inviting the not knowing into this space. So I would to discover what is for you the next culture. What is the being actually kind of vulnerable, not knowing, and making the next step for aliveness. And I kind of also, through thinking about what would be here in this space, I realize I'm in prison. I'm in prison trying to look out for something. I'm even having like this concept that it's prison. Like I'm perceiving this like being closed in a space where I want to go out, and through actually being kind of aliveness, through this like inner being alive, like pushing out what is alive for me. And I have impulse to check with you what is for you to like what brings you in here, what is the like what brings you here in.
What me brings is the pain of fear and sadness in the not knowing that I experience. I observe that I grasp for ways, for signs, for intellectual structures and stuff like that for how to be man, but or how to be me more, even more, how to be me and how to live, be alive in this time. I'm really, well, yeah, it's a state of being lost, or at least a not knowing that fills me with fear of what may come, and fear of being judged or being wrong. And there is the sadness of it's a sadness of not being there. Yeah.
May you say, what do you mean with there?
Yeah, that's I asked myself the same question. Thanks for asking it. I don't find it's really hard to grasp for me. It's like this like a fulfillment of all the wishes that I have for my life, which is for how deep communication can be, how much more love there can be. I think that's the center point. How much more I can be with love. I think that's the kind of it feels spiritual, and there's yeah, but I think the there is being in love.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. What brings me here is actually joy. Like I've seen you, Martin, being in this process of creating this man's talk. Like I've seen you walking the fire, and after this coming out with this standing that you took for manhood, and it really touched me deeply. It was like I could feel this was or is real for you, or it felt real for me what you shared about what you want to bring into the world with this work talk. And yeah, so this calls me in a way, because in my sense there are these two ways in which we or I discover what it means to live in next cultures. And the one is to break down where I'm at, like to really get where I'm standing right now. This is part of the transition into next culture, and to see the pain, to feel the pain about all the ways I'm imprisoned, all the ways that I'm not able to reach out or to be in love, or all the ways I'm in competition, or all the ways I don't know, play my games, like my knowing games. For me, it's not the not knowing, it's more like I start to feel how much my knowing disconnects me. This is my pain, like my sadness, my anger, my fear that I have about from a different perspective looking at this thing. And the other thing is actually to create something new. And I feel we're already in it. Like we're already in the process of creating something new with setting up a talk like this, and like trying to meet men or be with each other, just being like speaking, hearing, communicating with each other. And this is building like this new thing that is part of next culture. And I want to kind of take out this. I know this pain, and I think it's pain of the patriarchy actually, or how the patriarchy lives in me. This pain of always needing to be somewhere else than where I am. Like it's never okay or enough to be actually where I am, and so I look for trying to be somewhere else, and I want to, like, this is what I want to escape, trying to be somewhere else than where I am. And I just want to acknowledge this. We are here in this space, and it's already happening. Like I'm already meeting you like I've never met you before, and I hear you like I've never heard you before, and I'm letting in what you say like I've never did before. And I feel touched and I feel glad about it.
Thank you. With what you are saying, with what you are speaking, like you both of appear a question in me, how kind of the real necessity question, like how is the way to support other men, or like how is it like to be with other men on this journey that we go together. And I'm in my discovery, on my discovery path. It's also this fire, like this fire which is going through me, this connection with what I want. And on kind of lately, I'm discovering this space in me where actually this fire is one thing which drives me and brings me further, like in the connection, in the way how I can, and like this shininess of showing the space. And you were Kian naming it in the way like this. Okay, this is my path, and this is, I walk this path, not knowing where I go. And I'm kind of being stuck, or there are moments where I feel like what is the next thing? Like that's this moment where my mind wants to control over and knowing what is the next thing. What should I know? Where actually this journey goes, like kind of linear thinking about what is the next step. And I'm like kind of having this necessity of like asking you what is actually what is that you like you need, that actually you can walk, or you can be in like alive. Because also I was noticing like this, Michael, like this aliveness, this being this in fire. And that's not a literally question. And maybe I have a proposal that we can do like just 5 minutes each to sharing what do I need, or what do actually I would change it in a way, kind of open and dragon speaking, like to use your anger, and each one of us 5 minutes kind of just say with anger what is wanted, like what is in the space, what do I stand for in the space as a discovery. Do you have a questions?
Oh, it's just scary. Just like it, you just turn up the heat.
Oh yeah.
I sense the heat, like it's yeah, great. And it fits into the space, and because through my discovery, I just want to add to it, it's like this kind of connecting with the fire, like it's also like I can bring the next thing into the space. And so okay, I go first. I wanna go first. And would any one of you hold it 5 minutes for me?
Yes.
I have a timer app. Give me a second, because I can do it here in the Zoom, so you can see it.
Yeah, you were that. I remember you said it. It's an app.
Yeah. It's 5 minutes.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
Okay, I stand for the driving energy in the flow, in the space. I stand for that the energy, like that the connection is actually thriving, and the connection is a real connection between the people, between who I'm communicating with. I'm standing for the real being in a space, like meeting being to being, like honestly sharing what are the blockages inside of us, what is actually standing in front of me, that actually I can be in connection with you, like and dying first, just going and being vulnerable, like feeling the pain of the life, like feeling the pain of being alive, feeling the pain of I am here, like I am here because I'm standing on the ground and I feel the pain of my heavy body. Like I sense the beautiful energy in my hand, and I stand for sharing that with you, like sharing and bringing you alive, bringing other people alive, that they can be in a fire with me, that they can make the next step, and that the culture can thrive, that the beauty and nature can thrive, that we can thrive together. We can be there and we can see how the nature is going and thriving, and the relationship or the connection, just the being are with them, with the nature. And there is like, you can even support me, like you can even go say go. You don't need to be stand there just watching at me, and just being alive with me, like in the fire. And that was meant to you. I want to say, like, you can even say go to me. And
yeah, go.
And it's like being like in this kind of supporting, like asking for a help, like being alive and knowing that fucking I sometimes cannot cross the borders without you. Like I need you to actually to make the next step for me. That I need you, that actually I am being alive. Like even I cannot do that alone, and allowing that and bringing to the space that I need other men, I need other brother to be there with me. That I am being alive, and I am being, and I have like another being, another person, another living warrior, mage, whatever kind, like person, like this shining star next to me. And I am going for that. I'm going for that, asking for help. I'm going for being in a space and just not fucking letting go until it just goes there and we are there together. I feel
yes.
and I go for that, because fucking this is being alive. This is being alive, not knowing, and just standing fully and present on my feet, just going and going and going and going until I know what is that. I know I have the connection. Or even I don't know. I just fucking go and do experience that. I just go and sense you in the space to know how you are there being and wanting. And I go, I just fucking just thrive over and draw, and I just don't play. I go and play fully out, like, because it's I am big. I am standing for this anger being in a space that the fly can grow fucking long time.
Yes,
go.
go.
And this is 5 minutes. This is the worst. Yes, I go, and I am standing here and being so alive, just sharing the aliveness with you. And I want you that you shout your go at me and just go with me.
Go.
Yes, and I'm standing for this energy in the space, that it grows and thrives, and that everybody is going and being, and there is no stuckness. Just yes, it's I am flying through the space that I sense, and I'm flying with the space. I'm being in the space. I'm leaning into the space. I'm standing for the fire in the space, for the necessity of being connection with a man, for the brotherhood, for the connection, for the supporting the other man, that he can actually thrive with me, that we can shine together.
Yeah.
There is this, there is the looking into eyes, and I can fucking tell him, you are my brother because I fucking love you. And I'm not fucking scared to say you because I love you, because I am being holding in my space. And I'm standing for the love which is actually happening. I'm not scared of this fucking hiding behind the other picture of I could be killed. Like, I stand for my brother here. I stand for the place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
Okay. Who is going next?
I go next.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
I'm here for creating something that hasn't been there before every moment. I'm here to be with you with my heart open,
Yeah.
to tear out, like to tear down my walls, to be with you from the depth of my soul and bear it to you and show you
Go.
that
Go.
I'm here with the same wishes, desires, and maybe not fully the same, but I'm here with wanting to love and to be loved. I'm here with wanting to stand shoulder to shoulder with other men.
Yeah. Go.
I
Go.
want to stand and to shine together. I want to
Yeah.
have like a
Go.
brotherhood of men and to take down these numb walls and numb faces and numb kind of strategies that keep me away from being with each other. That
Yeah.
they keep me
Go.
away from being with
Go.
you. That I'm like tearing down these fucking mechanisms that keep us as men small and guilty and fucking
Go.
without balls and like
Go.
adapted to our mothers and parents in this fucking system
Go.
that is
Yeah.
fucking killing this planet. And I'm tearing this shit down. I'm taking a stand that men can like walk at my side. We can walk together
Yeah.
and
Go.
leave this shit behind and go into
Go.
something else and be with each other and
Go.
love each other. Like I'm here to fucking really like I feel this deep pain and sadness about how much I've disconnected myself from the men around me and how much I still have these hidden small fucking games that try to keep me away from them,
Go.
try to keep me better, that try to keep me more knowing,
Go.
and I'm fucking done.
Go.
This is fucking not needed. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Go.
And I'm here to also create something new. Like I'm a stand for something new in relationship to women. I fucking don't know what it is yet. And every time I try to speak about it, I'm just arrogant. I'm just in my mind. I live in a fucking concept, but I know I feel it in my heart like that. I want to go there. I want to go there
Go.
together with people, not forcing us, but breaking down together, going there and falling apart into something else, like in connection with women, that
Go.
there's a fucking
Go.
wonder happen. Like
Yeah.
every moment in this life,
Yes.
it's a wonder. Like we are meeting here,
Yes.
we are in this space. It's a wonder. We meeting. I've never
Go.
met you, Michael, and I
Go.
love you. I see the beauty in you. I see the man that lives in you, that wants to come out, that wants to be there in the world, and I fucking take a stand for it. I see your pain, and I know I have similar pain because I'm also a man in this world. And also, when I
Go.
look at you, Martin, like I want to be at your side. I want to hold your hand. Like I want to fucking break down these fucking stupid
Go.
walls that tell me
Go.
I cannot hold the man of the hand of the man next to me and be like with each other and really and be with each other and be also gentle and soft and at the same time be in my power with you, be in my joy,
Yeah.
be in my
Go.
celebration,
Go.
be in my
Go.
dance with you, be in some kind of creation process that takes us to places where we've never been before, like to go to a place of connectedness and sharing from my heart that that I'm also falling apart. Like I'm apart falling, and it's okay to fall apart. It's freaking okay.
Go.
And like
Go.
to go together and fall apart and be like,
Yeah.
shit, brother, this
Go.
hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to fall
Go.
apart. And it's okay, like we're together in it. We don't have to force it. We don't have to crush each other for that. We don't have to kill each other for that. Maybe sometimes a good chop with a sword at the right time can be helpful, but we can do it with love.
Go.
Go.
We can do it with being. We can do it with heart.
Yeah. Go.
And I'm also here because men need to wake up to their responsibility for the children that they set into the world. Like
Yeah.
because they're
Go.
fucking fathers.
Yeah.
Children need
Go.
fathers. Like we
Go.
have the responsibility to show, to kind of be in a way that children can grow up with someone there holding space for them, with someone
Go.
there being kind of space to nurture, to not only nurture, to go on to adventures, to experience life, to go on a journey that weaves together hearts that haven't been woven together so far.
Yeah. Thank you, Kian.
Thank you, Kian. I set my timer.
Thank you.
Go.
Go.
I'm here and I take a stand. I take a stand for what life really feels like. I take a stand for saying honestly what it is like to be alive and to make the distinctions what is not aliveness. And I take a stand for my distinctions. I'm bringing radical, like a responsibility. I bring responsibility to this place for standing up for the worth, for the experiments, and for all the education that I gained to share it into this world.
Go.
I take a stand for bringing men together, how hard it may be, so that we talk. I have no idea about the outcome, and I take a stand for not knowing it, and I want to share that. I want to empower as many people just to come with me on this journey of not knowing where it will end, but just like standing up for this life that I know is possible. It is there. It's just a decision to take, and I take a stand for making the events and making the newsletters and all the stuff that makes it possible, makes it accessible for as many people as possible. And I take a stand for my body. I take a stand for showing and sharing that we fucking have to use our bodies. Like we're talking about 5 bodies and this physical body. We just stuff with food and with medicine, and then we do some yoga once a week. This is stupid. And I take a stand for that. I'm angry. I'm so angry at this whole wellness sports thing that lets us forget how we use our bodies, how we breathe, how much power we have. I take a stand for showing this to children, showing to children how to use their endless power, how to go for a run, how to go biking, how to build a trail. I take a stand for not knowing how this fucking works to build a trail or to build a fence or to build a home, but I want to learn it, and I want to learn it with you. I want to learn it with a group of men which stuck our heads together and make something beautiful and sustainable and stop raping Mother Earth and being at the first step honest how shitty I behave, how much plastic I use, how much plastic bags and where my shit goes, and like how much diesel I use. I take a stand for being honest against myself or with myself. To really see where I am, like how am I destroying the world, and at the point of destroying I want to take a stand for taking responsibility in relationship. I am killing relationship. I use violence. I have violent things in my head, and it has to be said. Fuck, it has to be said. It has to be said that those pictures are in most of our heads, and if we don't see them, they're still somewhere in there, and that's why we have war out there. And if I so dearly want to take a stand for showing this and for like going into my pain of feeling like the only one on this fucking planet to have this murder and slaughter in my head and feeling like the worst man on earth. I want to go there. Want to go there because that's what is really there. It's not just this, like there is happiness and there is things that work, but there is slaughter and there is rape and there is porn and there is blood, a lot of bone crushing things happening, and it's there, and it has to be said. And I take a stand for living in this life, and I maybe there is a way that others don't or whatever, but I take a stand for the persons who I am experiencing that. And I take a stand for creating spaces. I take a stand for creating those spaces I long for, having men like you with me and being in this situation of like I fear so much speaking to you and talking bullshit and not being good. My good boy box is freaking out, but I long for that space to have you with me and to tell you this and for you to bring me into the situation where I can talk like this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you.
I want to share with you that how I felt, how much joy I felt being in this alive space. Like, it shifted for me into a space where, like, this anchor, this quality, this standing for, this kind of much more is possible than before. And I realized how it energized me, and how actually in my research it's also kind of how the anger actually brings really forward, like kind of cleans the space, even like noticing kind of waving from one thing and going for it, and using the anger for standing and committing to the thing, to next thing. I want to ask you, what is your experience?
I feel fear. Yeah, I feel fear that anger is the easiest way to go to for men to be with each other. And yeah, I feel afraid that this is the easiest way for us that we know, and that there's, yeah. And I don't know, like I'm also like sad, feel sad because I feel like a block around my heart with this anger, with this quality of anger at the moment. It's also there, and I feel also joy for, yeah, having witnessed you in what you just shared.
Is it that when you are saying that is it for you easy way to be in anger with other men?
It's more easy than to be scared, let's say.
Okay, thank you.
And also, like, my fear is more about like what we are creating in a way, like also like what you and I are creating. It's kind of this, yeah, it's safe to be angry with each other space, because we know it, we've done anger work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. How was it for you, Michael?
I felt aliveness, and I can still feel aliveness, like a more awakened, and yeah, more awakened, like sleeping and awaking, not in a spiritual way, but like a awakened state. I recall experiencing all four feelings, and I share a bit the fear of the like dragons has for me a lot of anger without judging, like it's just
I cannot hear you.
I mean, yeah, I cannot hear you as well. I'm losing you.
me, I feel while in this 5 minutes, I feel this flame of I stand here. Am I back? Test 1, 2. Do you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Good. So I'm back.
Yes.
Thank you. I do not know how much you heard. What was the last thing before I broke apart?
I heard that you are your energy, you feel alive, and that you are also like there was the dragon, like you feel alive and this dragon power inside of you.
Yes. And this dragon power for me has a lot of things together in common with anger. For me it feels like anger, and so I felt I liked this way of switching the space and allowing as men to share that vision. I do not feel the fear of the anger like being the easiest way. It didn't feel like that because I felt all the four feelings and just had this anger as a drive, like a drive of energy to surf on and really speak that vision coming from sadness, fear, and joy.
Thank you. I realized the moment where kind of I was with anger with you, and I had the necessity to hear you, like to support me. And it felt so powerful, like to realize that actually in the anger, I also need you. And the moment, and kind of I was I'm having this construct which is kind of I'm working on it, kind of asking for help, but it's still part of this construct of I do it on my own, like the lonely wolf. And this kind of survival mechanism that actually I can go anyway away and not to create anything with anyone. I just do my own stuff. It's so sometimes so powerful that I keep myself away. Actually, kind of the reason would be that I'm vulnerable and I'm showing that actually I need help. And I was having this joyfulness, this pure joyfulness that actually I'm in connection with you and I want to hear your voice. And it was like a gift at the moment.
Seems to me like conscious use of anger.
Yeah. And there was I it's like one other one kind of distinction is like wanting to have everything in one moment. I realized also kind of blockage of wanting everything at the moment. So it's happening right now. I'm fully anger. I'm fully stellated. I can use my anger and call people. And this is I like kind of fantasy world of creating and inviting. I can hold space for 30 people, 30 men being in a space. And I realized this kind of fantasy world, it needs to have a step by step. It's also the first step is realizing, okay, even if I'm using my anger, I'm kind of using my low drama. I'm saying want, I like using the I want, I using the I create like I wish, or like having this moving through, or through I hate this, or like using the anger still for hating. Like I hate that and this is not okay. And then shifting from actually I think what is right, but like I hate, I wish, I want, and then I stand for, which is, or I am kind of being that, which is the most powerful calling into the nature, like calling for the kind of the echo, the resonance for echo. Like it's my experience where I was setting up this walk talk. I said I'm holding the space for the walk talk, and then I realized how it changed me, and I went in connection with the man, and I was asking about it. It just the necessity influenced me be in contact, to go the next step, to going for what actually kind of what I want. And it needed to make the step actually from, I would say, I want that, and it was like, still I want that, I'm getting being in fantasy world. Then it moved into, okay, I'm holding the space. And with the shift, it's also shifted how I was like how I was with other men, because there was for me a necessity to actually, I want to actually, yeah, I realized there was a necessity for me. I want to discover how is it the next culture with you.
Thank you, Martin.
I'm now kind of not knowing where it goes next. And I would be creating kind of necessities, or I would be bringing distinctions, because my mind needs to have a distinctions. And
I have a proposal.
yes, go.
I have one research which I take a stand for, and it's research about love. So I experienced that I cannot make clear distinctions about love, experience of love. So I began to experiment with that. And the first experiment I'm at the moment doing, and which I want to open the door for right now, is to imagine yellow space, yellow stuff is what Clinton calls it. Just to take now 2 minutes to look into each other's eyes and just experience what is there. Do you have any resistance to that proposal? 1, 2, 3.
I have one, and that would be about what you said, imagine. I would correct it in a way, it's not imagine, and like focus, like give attention to the space, so you can maybe you can find it. And because imagining it maybe comes in the mind, it's kind of picture rather than being in a space, so it can occur, or like you can see it. I had a fear so about that. Does it work for you as well?
I propose that we open the space for both ways, because for me sometimes one body can take the other body with, so imagination or visualization can bring emotional body up and bring energetic body up, and archetypal as well. So it's just a game, and I like I feel joy about the clarity of your proposal. So yours is, I think, the perfectly right way to approach it, open and just set intention. That's really clear for me. I feel joy in that distinction.
Okay.
So I propose, like, whoever feels good with whatever technique, if it's okay for you.
I'm actually no, in a way, or it's I know, and no, I do over. It's not about a no. I'm afraid in a way that when you say whatever technique, it's kind of, I'm missing clarity about the experiment. So I would love to I would love to build it. So would you please repeat, or it's what I understood. So we are creating an experiment where researching a love space, or we want, and you are researching how the love space exists. And my proposal would be that even kind of it's not, even like now, right now, if you can check in which space you are and check the awareness of your bodies, even when I'm speaking, if you can perceive that, if you can perceive the kind of yellow energy being in a space, if it's here, that would be my proposal. Because I am having fear about the silence, and I'm okay now. I'm thinking my fear is more based of not knowing where it would go. But it's also the fear that the silence might be okay. I think I'm getting on my edge. I wanted to say that the silence might be also kind of other energies might come in. That's my fear, which I'm experiencing, and so my proposal is to do actually both, so I can experiment with also with the silence.
I have, I don't know what resistance, but in a way, I just want to share a little bit what I noticed within myself before we go somewhere, is because I feel like, or my story that is going on in my head is, we're trying to go somewhere, and it's not like we are going, like, we, I have the sense the space that we are creating, we're not listening to the space. We're listening to some kind of idea of where we should go. Or like in the case, like I would say you want to go, like, go somewhere where you know, or like create something, go experiment. And I'm interested in being with you in a space without having this kind of knowing where to go. And like I want to go on this kind of discovery, and like I want to be in a dangerous space and speak from this not knowing. I don't want to go into a silent space that seems to me like, okay, this is safe in a way. I can do eye gazing every time I meet someone. I do it often, actually. And this space is for me. I want to, yeah, I want to go on a discovery journey about what it means to meet you as a man. And I'm afraid, because I don't want to just impose my crushing ideas or whatever on this space. And I feel like, yeah, this is when I'm honest with you, this is what I want. And I'm not so like, yes, these are beautiful proposals, and there feels like there's something in the space that we can unfold. Like, it's more like we're in the space and unfold the clarity or the distinctions or the words that need to be spoken for each other's hearts, to get nourished from the space while we're being in it without needing to get anywhere. And in a way, yeah, that's what I can say. And in a way, like I say this last, in a way, it feels like you're killing that with putting on like these kind of known proposals. How do you feel about that?
Thank you. I feel glad for your invitation going into unknown.
I feel sad because I, I liked the experiment, and it was a no for the experiment, so that I'm sad, and I'm glad. I'm curious about the going into not knowing. I like your proposal.
Thank you. I just want to say that I hear that you feel sad because of my no for your proposal. Thank you for saying that. And you feel glad for curious, for going somewhere unknown. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I have still the proposal in the way same for you, Michael, because you are doing the experiment. You know that you can split your attention, or you can work
Yes.
with that even here in the space. And my proposal would be that just shortly before we end the space, I will ask you for your report about how have you seen the love in a space.
Accepted.
And I will participate in your experiment. Like I feel glad that you brought this awareness about yellow stuff to the space. And since you said it, I'm putting more of my attention there.
I'm glad you're joining.
And I'm glad for the collaboration happening in a space. I'm joining as well. Actually, I'm already, since you said it, I'm observing that. And I take also your question about discovery, about the man. And if I'm going into unknown or like into my fear, the first things which comes is also how I cannot be with you as a man, or how I am blocking myself to really be here. And I want to share my shadow way of like being in a space with other men. And this is playing a small boy in a way, hiding, so I don't need to take care of responsibility. And I am avoiding kind of my shadow ways, like playing the story in my head that I know better. I am a better man. I know it more than you. I have more experience. Even I could do it better than you. Even I don't know. It's just fantasy world. And another way how I kind of keep myself of actually being in real contact with other men is also praising them. It's like I'm kind of praise them in my head, how great they are, how successful they are. And I am then actually my gremlin is using it to take over, like to not to be in connection with you, because I'm having kind of, my gremlin has a grip on the control, and I know how to play this game, and I'm in control rather than not knowing and discovering something else with you.
Thank you. And my question is, when you keep going with this fear of unknown, like, and because this is what stops you from being with us, but when you kind of slide through that, you shared it with us, and then let the fear speak. What is coming then? Like, what does it has as service for the space? Even though this was already a service, like what you're sharing, I felt really resonated, and I have this sense there's more.
Yes. Or like my fear would actually invite you for the same, like if you would share your shadow principles, like if you would join, if you would be discovering what is holding you back from being with other men.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. I yeah, what actually holds me back right now is some kind of so how do you say that? I feel my competition is very subtle, or like so subtle that I don't notice it myself. And I can just like how I notice is that something is not working. Like I try to be with you and try to create something with you, and somehow I'm creating something else. Even though in my mind I have the best intentions of being with you, like I can only see, like I'm at the point where I can only see how I compete with others and the fruits that I'm creating, not yet in the how I'm actually creating it in myself. And I have the fear that I'm actually with what I just shared, like I'm feeling the fear and also sadness about that I actually just destroyed, for example, Michael's beautiful offer because of a place in me that wants to compete or wants to have the better idea, something like that. And yeah, it in my mind it looks very like, yeah, but this is what I want. Like I feel really identified with it. I feel like I'm it and I'm really in it. And so I'm, while saying this, noticing how much I'm still identified with my shadow purposes and not being able to see them because I think I am them. Yeah. And I feel, yeah, I feel sad for that. I feel sad. And I have this huge fear of actually what a mess. Like I'm afraid that my underworld is, I'm so used to living and playing out my underworld that I'm not noticing it. I'm scared of that. And I'm scared that you do the same, actually. I'm afraid that it's so subtle and vicious that we, even if you say it, even if you have the clarity, it's like, for example, what you shared, Mark, even if you share your clarity about your underworld, I'm afraid that this will not change anything, that you will still do the same thing. And not like, not that it's bad or wrong, it's just like that we're entangled, that I'm entangled, that you're entangled. And I'm afraid that there will be no real meeting happening, more like these shadow handshakes, maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel a lot of fear about how much my underworld crashes spaces. I try to observe it, and as the more I like question even those little movements with fingers and feet, and the more I see how fast I find ways to slip away, to find, like, even with, I have this method of overlaying what I hear with thoughts, with speaking, with other ideas or pictures. And even there it starts that I make this ripple in between you and me.
Mm.
And the fear is because I like, it's not just the more techniques I find, it's like even I can spend days after some event with voices that judge what happened, and it's like afterwards deconstructing reality. And there is a huge not knowing in this shadow world and its use, or it's like it's there, and in my imagination it happens in everybody. So I have a absolute no idea what this is all about and how bad it really is, or whether it's evolutionary so that we gain more understanding exactly right now, but if we wouldn't have the underworld, there would be nothing to see and nothing to build like consciousness on. Yeah, I'm observing in huge fear what techniques I use to destroy spaces and communication and connection. And joy. Sorry. And joy. Like there's even this spaces that I did not take a stand for, not like there are these spaces I find myself in which I do not want to be in. And there is a gremlin joy in deconstructing those or destroying those spaces to get out as fast as possible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I would love to discover with you, because what comes to me, yeah, Kian, you are right. The fear of that actually the shadow principle, that this destroying in the space is still happening, even when we are sharing our shadows. And there was I was asking myself actually, how can I work with that? So I need you it's not like I would need you, it's like, but I can ask you if you would give me support, or like how can this work of, like I'm having a dilemma, because I heard Clinton speaking about, actually it's my work, I'm using my sword on my neck on my own, and it's my work, it's my responsibility, because if I'm giving the work to other person, if I'm asking other person, would you tell me when my gremlin is active, it's actually my gremlin who plays the game. And I'm having it as something which I heard from Clinton. I don't yet have the distinction or the pain in my body that I would have experienced it on my own. And anyway, I'm having this fear kind of, okay, I can be stuck in that saying because Clinton said that, and this is just the rule, because another shadow of myself is having a rule and following just the rule, and I follow a rule, and this is the way how it is, and there nothing else exists. And where I want to go with that is that actually I wanted to ask you for kind of, I would love to shape my skill of recognizing how the other person's shadow's world is working. How the shadow, what is the shadow world of other person, kind of, that I can hold a space and even learn about me through that. And the exercise would be that you would, for the next 3 minutes, you would give me and say me, okay, what is the shadow world, what is my shadow world, what do you see? And then we would rotate, so then you, Michael, and I would say about Kian, and Kian and me would say it about you.
I have an urgent, I need to go to the toilet for 1 minute, please.
Go.
Thank you.
even recognize this moment where actually I won't do that, and I'm observing this part. I'm hoping that you want to do it as well, kind of this child enmeshment in me, which is this like feeling of sadness. Oh, do you want to as well? Maybe no, it's not okay. Should I ask you? Observing this energy.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I'm back.
Great. So there is some time left. I will have a 3 minutes, and yeah, do you have a questions about exercise?
No.
Okay, so I'm the first possibilitator, and you are telling me what you are telling me about what shadows do you see in me? What is the shadow principle? How do I avoid, or how I'm using my shadows?
Okay.
Okay,
I
go.
set the time. You have the timer?
Yes.
You kill in a way yourself every time, like it looks to me like every time you sink into your being, you kill it. It's like it's not okay to be in your being very deeply ingrained. And it's kind of this that because your being kind of moves in the speed of love, and that would hurt. Like to love would actually hurt, would hurt you, would hurt, maybe even like would make people around you feel something also, but this is not so much the point, more yourself. So you every time you go there, you kind of kill it immediately, so you do not hurt.
I see the shadow principle of not feeling, of like giving your center, your energetic center into your mind and analyzing instead of staying centered and letting be touched. It's like building a wall between the outside and the inside.
And yeah, in a way you stay alone in that. Like I don't think, I'm just saying things, I don't know if they're true, but I don't think you ever experienced connectedness. Like, yeah.
I sense superiority, putting yourself over the others.
And what I mean by connectedness is actually the sensation of like having bearing your heart open and being like having another person's heart in your heart. Like it feels like one. And yeah, I just want like there is some kind of really ingrained adult ego state voice that says things need to be a certain way. Like you need to be a certain way, the things around you, people.
You mean parent ego state?
Yeah, not adult, sorry.
Yeah.
Parent.
Thank you. It was 3 minutes. So who goes? Who wants
I
to
go
go next?
I want to go next.
Okay. So let's start.
You kind of create confusion, like as a way to protect yourself. Or in a way, it's even like playing dumb a little bit. There's this kind of show in which you do not understand what's happening on some level that protects you from feeling what's happening. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a wall that you've created and you kind of empower that stops you from being in connection and letting things in on another and on a quicker level, on a feelings level, not here.
The sense, this kind of subtle sadness inside of you is kind of creating small victim story. There's this like kind of you can play victim anything. And there is also there is this reasonability, like to having reasons for what do you do. So like your Kremlin can create any reasons to shift the space somewhere where he wants. So then he has a reason, current reason for anything.
And in some way, you have created this kind of hopeful fantasy worlds for yourself in which everything will be okay at some point, that kind of keep you away from being like with your pain about things, how they are.
And kind of stuckness, or there is a your gremlin has a joy about being stuck, about like, and it would feel like there would be like your joy, or like there is no movement, like would be kind of feel, okay, like I have a joy that actually nothing is changing or nothing is moving forward. There's like, okay, it stacks together.
And there's something about taking responsibility that is bigger than yourself, that your gremlin doesn't like at all. Like there's some kind of story that you're not able to do that actually, and this is why you don't do it. Like for maybe a project, or like for a thing that your soul really burns for, that will need to transcend who you are so far to be created.
That were 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I will just grab something to write it down.
So let's go. What I sense that this cleverness, like your gremlin or the shadow is like the cleverness, like you can turn anything kind of into a way that it serves to your gremlin, kind of the amazing creativity of story, which can be turned into kind of low drama or like into suffering or into danger.
Your gremlin uses a mask of trustfulness, of sovereignty, of yeah, of clarity to get what you want. Like it's a bit sneaky structure.
And it seems that your gremlin or like this shadow part is really enjoying to kind of like, to suffer, like to have like this, like everything is a suffer, like the life is suffer, or like everything, every experience is suffering.
I sense some like a feeling of superiority, like seeing things others don't see.
How do I use that? And do what do I do with that?
Avoid being in connection, being touched, being really establishing the connection.
And there is kind of okay, no, 3 minutes already are happening and I'm not getting it, or I'm not jumping into it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanna, I'm kind of, there is energy in me to shift the space into something like I'm glad to discovering these things with you, the way how I can even trust myself. And I realized one thing, that I'm still kind of keeping myself safe in a way, as you were Kian saying, like, okay, I'm keeping myself safe. And what I like my next dangerous step, I don't know, like I was asking also about what would be my next dangerous step to do, like in this work, and what how to evolve that. Actually there is kind of my joy in a space, and that's like I'm freaking out, but to ask you about, and it feels like I would love to start a group. Actually, I feel fear. I have never done it, and I don't want to be the lonely wolf, and I want to start a group or of of meeting regularly and finding like, and to have a brother where I can grow with. And so this is kind of invitation, or this is asking, would you join? And yes, Kian.
I had the same thought, but we already have a men's group. I'm already in a men's group, and I want to invite you to this men's group actually. If you feel called to be in a men's circle in a continuous evolutionary container with other men, Marcus, Jesse, Jeff, I are in a men's group, and we're wanting to expand this group. And yeah, if you want to join, Martin or Michel, like we can have a conversation about this. Yeah, because I don't want to go into another online men's space, but it's already there.
It's already there. Great. I feel joy for
Mm.
invitation.
Yeah, and Yuri, I speak it out. Like, if you like, I would love to have you in this space, both of you, or like, yeah, at least one of you. I mean, like, we want more people in this space, and I would be really glad if this outcome of this space is that one or two more people join the space.
So I'm having yes for a call with your group or with you.
Yes.
And it's even recorded on video, so it goes much further than just this 3D.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also have a yes for a call between us. And thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad.
And I'm having a question, Kian. What is kind of in this work, or what is sparkling you? What is thing what you would say about the group?
I first thing is that I love every man in this group very dearly. Like and Mateus. Sorry, I forgot Mateus is also in the group. And there's this kind of love that grows between us, and it's not only about meeting for the context of being in a men's circle, but it's also I love those people there. Like, this is a big part of me, and I want them to grow. I want to grow also, and I have this wish to be with them in an evolutionary transformational growing space. And yeah, apart from that, the work is like we have rotating space holders, and it's a way for men to hold space for each other in a ongoing growing way. And actually it's a birth chamber. Like, we want this space to be a birth chamber. Like, every man who joins the space commits to bring other men's spaces into the world outside, in the wherever they go. And so it is this growing container for men's space holder in the world. Yeah.
Thank you, Kian. So I'm understanding that it's kind of birthplace for space holders, for which are like rippling space and holding a space for other men.
Yes. And it's a place to grow the skill of space holding, like to grow the skill of space holding for men, and to also like heal and evolve and get nourished, like on many different layers. It's a nourishment for the child ego state, it's a co-creation space for the adult, and it's an archetypal man brotherhood of, I don't know, building something in us that is needed for this new culture.
Thank you. Michael, there are 4 more minutes and I want to check about your experiment and our experiment about observing love. How did it work for you?
I experienced that this as soon as I brought my attention to from listening to listening and experiencing whatever, wherever, it brought me closer in terms of like my perception of the one who was talking was more clear and closer to me than before. And I experienced like just from the physical body, I experience whenever I put my attention on this question, is love there, or is there this connection, or where is the connection, or where do I feel it? It feels warm and from this solar plexus region, like all breast, chest area gets warm. That's what I like in the physical body experience. Thank you.
Thank you. I was experiencing this I need to hold a space for that. Like I realized there are moments I went away. I was focused on something else. My attention was split about the space, and I just shifted away from the love. And then I needed to put the attention better there, so I can actually see it here. And I observed that it shifts, as you were saying, it shifts me into a different space, where I'm allowing myself to put the attention on the love. I'm not kind of my inner child ego state is more relaxed. How was it for you, Kian?
I would say similar to what you share. It's like it's something that needs my attention, and I just forgot it in the last minutes actually. And yeah, it's similar also. Like when I do not put my attention on it, I'm kind of looking to get it from you in a way. Like this is what my child ego state tries. Like it's trying to get love and get something so I can feel love. And if I just put my attention on the love that is there already, this kind of feeds this part also. And not only this part, but my whole being, I feel like. And it is this kind of switch of looking for love and sourcing love. That, like, this is my story, that this is the switch of becoming this space and from which love comes from, or noticing actually how much there is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel joy because there is so much love. Thank you for being in this space with me. I somehow kind of realized that we went through anger. There was a fear field for me going now to joy, and there was a little bit of sadness. I was like my mind was making adaptation, like going through actually this circle, like going through these feelings together. And I feel glad for this journey.
Me too.
Thank you for Thank you for this exploration space.
Thank you.
And I will get to you, Kian, about the call.
Yes, and also Michael, if I will just send you a message both.
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
Feel shy about that doorway.
I wish you have a great discovery journey on the path of the next culture and see you in different spaces.
Yes, for you too.
For you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.